Welcome back, listeners, and welcome to the Starting Grid, the Formula One podcast where we discuss race weekends, news, reviews of the race. We are back a couple days late. Sorry about that. Calvin and I were both traveling. He was out in somewhere.
I was out in Phoenix.
Oh, yeah. He was out partying up in Old Town or what?
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah.
Visiting the family.
Yeah. So he was over there. I was in SoCal on at a memorial service for an in-law. So our weekends were both pretty packed and busy. And there was the memorial holiday.
Yeah.
So
we were trying to work something out, but
yeah, it just didn't work out until today. So we're gonna edit and release this immediately.
Yeah, good luck with that. I'm gonna burn out, go home, take a nap.
Calvin's just here. He's always just here to give us the gift of his voice and then leaves me to all the editing.
Yeah. I'm sure some people would rather not listen to my voice, but
all right, well, back into it, I guess. I'm your host, Malik, as usual, and with me I've got Calvin as usual.
Hola.
So what did you think of the overall weekend, the overall race weekend for Monaco?
It was good. I mean, I was super busy this week, so I couldn't dedicate a ton of time to it. But it was good. It kind of went how I expected.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how Monaco goes.
Yeah, usual Monaco.
Yeah. So, I mean, nothing too crazy, nothing too exciting. It kind of went the way I expected.
Yeah, a couple bad strategy calls, pit stops here or there, and then a bunch of slow cars behind, one slow car in the front. Standard Monaco stuff.
Dude, well, I guess we'll get into it later. But
we will.
It is crazy how the race played out this year. It was so similar to last year.
With Ricardo? Yeah.
With Ricardo, yeah.
I was thinking that exact same thing.
So, little foreshadowing there for you.
Right. For me, I thought the overall weekend, I didn't have a chance to pay too much attention to the overall weekend as well. So I caught a couple practices during the week while I was at work. And then I think I missed Friday's practice session. And then I caught
well, there was no practice session Friday.
Oh, Saturday,
Monaco does
right?
this weird thing where they do Thursday, Saturday, and then they'll race. Yeah,
that's right. So yeah,
I think there's another race going on Friday.
I didn't catch it on Saturday. Yeah, I caught a piece of qualifying basically. I caught the Q2. I came in on Q2, so I missed Q1. But I mean, whatever. I didn't see anything of import. I didn't miss anything of importance. Actually, I did.
Yeah, you did.
I missed a super important thing.
Yeah.
But before we get there, yeah, overall, as far as the race went, I thought it was a really good race. It definitely had me on my toes. I don't know why, because no one passes in Monaco. It's just not a thing that happens too often. So even though I was kind of on the edge of my seat, seeing if Verstappen was going to do something, nothing really happened. So, but I thought it was a good race compared to not last year. Last year was cool because Ricardo won, but it was a good race. I wasn't as bored as I was watching the Chinese GP. Yeah, that was boring.
Yeah, that was a snoozer.
But at least this time the cars were at least close to one another and they were in the same vicinity.
I think the announcers were working overtime because they were really, super excited about everything that was happening. So they kept you interested.
It's Hamilton's going so slow around the corner. Oh, he's slow around that corner. What's Verstappen gonna do?
Yeah, they were building up the hype that Verstappen might pull away. Then if he pulled away, everyone would have had just as much trouble passing him. Well, we'll get into it later. Yeah.
All right. So we both thought it was pretty good race weekend. Not too bad. Sometimes Monaco can be boring, but I guess it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah. If you're into the strategy and tactics and a really tiny track, this one looks for you.
So before we get into the details of it all, there's one big thing from the weekend or from the week, early in the week, and actually,
probably right after we posted the last episode.
Yeah, I think it was Tuesday or it was Monday.
Yeah,
because I posted a text before posting the Tuesday episode, so it was Monday of last week. Mm-hmm. We had the passing of Niki Lauda a racing legend in Formula One.
Some would say one of the greatest Formula One racers of all time.
What, racers or races?
Racer.
Racers. Oh, I thought you say races.
Nah, maybe.
Specific, I thought you were saying a specific race. Which he's had some of those. He's had some of the best races in Formula One history.
Oh, yeah.
He's been a part of. And he's definitely gone down in Formula One as one of the greatest in the sport.
Yeah.
So, you should know his name. If you're listening to this podcast and you don't know Niki Lauda's name, then, well, I'm not going to say why are you listening because we want you as a listener, but.
Yeah, there's some new people in the.
True.
Probably, hopefully, we're getting some new listeners.
Hopefully.
Getting into Formula One.
Yeah, you're reaching a new demographic out here. But,
so he's a 3-time world champion.
Yep.
He raced for Ferrari and McLaren. And then, have you seen
Rush?
Rush, yeah.
I was going to ask you that. Jinx.
Yeah. No, I actually haven't seen it.
What?
Yeah.
That's such a good movie.
I was talking to my dad this weekend while I was visiting, and he was talking about Niki Lauda, and he asked me the same thing.
Niki Lauda or Niki Lauda?
Lauda. Yeah. There we go.
Put some respect on his name.
Hey, it's not. I can't talk, but which is it's weird because I'm doing a podcast. But anyway, yeah, he asked me if I saw that movie. I guess it was a really good movie.
It was. It was like one of the best Formula One movies released, even though that's the only one I've ever seen, and the only one I can think of than that is Senna.
You're okay. So yeah, Senna was really good.
Yeah, but I don't think it was better than Rush.
You're missing probably one of the greatest movies of all time.
What?
And I don't know if it's Formula One racing, but it
I was say, come on.
It has. They're definitely open wheel racing.
If you say Talladega Nights,
no,
smack you.
That's NASCAR. But
yeah, but they had one driver that was Formula One.
Oh yeah,
Pierre, whatever that dude's name was.
Yeah. Oh man, it's the guy who plays Rocky.
How's it the greatest movie ever? You don't even know the name.
Well, that was a little sarcasm.
Oh, okay.
I think it's called Driven.
The dude who played Rocky. You talk about Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, has him in it, and they're like open wheel racing through. I think it came out in like the mid 2000s. You gotta check it out.
They're racing through what?
Like racing through towns or cities, blowing off manhole covers. Some of the worst CGI you've ever seen.
Wow.
You got to check it out.
I missed that. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up.
If you want to, you got time to kill.
Yeah, only if I have time to kill. Okay.
You'll be entertained. No, but Rush, definitely a good movie.
Especially for Niki Lauda's like life story and his
like
how he got into Formula One and whatnot.
Documents the crash at the Nürburgring and his rivalry with Alan Prost.
No. See, this is how I know.
James Hunt.
This is how I know you haven't seen the movie, bro.
Whatever. My notes are all out of whack.
Yeah, you didn't watch it. It's a good movie.
Yeah, a few years after that crash, he was competing against Prost for championship, which he won by half a point.
Nice. That movie, if for our listeners, it's a really great movie. You should definitely watch it. Like you said, it chronicles that kind of rivalry between Hunt and. The biggest thing was his crash that happened, like this fiery crash where some quarter or half of his face was burnt. Yeah. And he was back racing. I think he missed one race?
6 weeks here. After 6 weeks, he was back racing.
I think
he only missed one, yeah.
He missed, back then, I don't know how often they did the races, but only 6 weeks after having a fiery crash and getting half his face burnt. He was back in a car racing with a bandage all over his, like he still had his face bandaged up from the burns. Mm-hmm. And he's like, bump that. I'm a race car driver and this is what I do. So he didn't even allow himself that much time to heal. Mm-hmm. As soon as the pain went away, he just pretty much was back out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It says after the German Grand Prix at Nürburgring, he was racing 6 weeks later in the Italian Grand Prix.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, and those cars back then too.
Yeah, insane cars.
Yeah.
Probably not too comfortable. Probably not too soft on the body. I mean, they're not soft now. They're probably a little bit better on your body now than they were back then.
Oh yeah. So. I read an article where they were saying that during or the week of the Nürburgring, he was talking to all the drivers during one of their meetings and was like, we shouldn't race here. This is a dangerous track.
Yeah.
And then they ended up racing anyway, and unfortunately he crashed that race.
Oh, because it was rainy, right? Or
I don't know. He just said it was dangerous and shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
But he raced anyway.
Yeah. Well, he definitely, like I say, he's a legend of the sport. He served as Hamilton's. What is that role that Alan Prost and Niki Lauda and these other past drivers have? They're like mentors, or what's their position?
He was an advisor?
Advisor, there we go. I couldn't think of the word.
Mercedes. I don't know. Apparently he had a stake in AMG Petronas at one point. Says he has a 10% stake.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if that was back in the 80s or if he still did, but
yeah. Well, yeah, so he served as an advisor for Mercedes, but seemingly I've always seen it, and it's probably just because I've paid more attention to Hamilton over the other driver at Mercedes, but it seems like he was Hamilton's direct mentor.
Yeah.
They were always close, and that's probably because Hamilton's like the clear world champion material, like one of the best since Schumacher for sure. And so I guess they just took a shining to one another, and he was a great mentor to him. So he's been with them for a long time. So I know Hamilton took it pretty hard. The entire Mercedes team and the racing world in general took it pretty hard. He died on May 20th in his sleep at the hospital. He was undergoing some dialysis treatment. So that's kind of he has some kidney problems. I don't know if there's any direct cause other than old age. I mean, he was only 70, but you know, things just kind of caught up to him, I suppose.
Tragic. Definitely a legend. He will be missed.
Yep, he will. So watch the movie to get an idea of his story. It's a great one. And with that, we can move into the race weekend. So back on to, I guess, starting with practice. I can't really recall. I only saw, like I said, I watched practice 1 and 2 while at work. I kind of had it on the screen. And it was mostly I was trying to see how well the rookies got along with driving an F1 car in Monaco, in the streets of Monaco. Because as we said last weekend, this race is man versus machine versus the walls of Monaco. So I was trying to see if, Giovinazzi or why can't I think of the other drivers right now, the other rookies, Orlando Norris, George Russell, even Kubica. He's not a rookie, but he's kind of like back. He's almost a rookie, and then Pierre Gasly of the new bigger power car, how they were going to handle going around that track, and they all handled it pretty well. So,
not bad.
No crashes, no big crashes to really report.
A little bumping, but nothing crazy to take anyone out. Yeah,
bumping in the race, but not like them crashing into the wall like Verstappen has done multiple times in the past years. So they handled it really well. Practices pretty much went like this: Mercedes dominance.
Yep.
Actually, in FP3, Leclerc, which is sad that he got first place. So for practice, he showed some real pace.
Oh, really?
Real power.
So Leclerc was only in FP3 for like a very short time, maybe like 15 minutes out of the 90-minute
Oh,
session.
really?
Yeah, he hit a wall.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I missed FP3.
I'm pretty positive. Pretty positive he crashed and had to have his car rebuilt. They rebuilt it in time for qualifying. I think it was FP3. Maybe a different one, but
that says even more that he posted the fastest time, which it was the fastest time of FP3, but it was not the fastest time of all the practice sessions. Leclerc posted 1:11.2, whereas Hamilton did a 1:11.1 in the last FP2. But he ended up showing some real pace, as if to see that, so that Ferrari might bring the fight during qualifying to Mercedes. And then if we jump into qualifying, Yeah, we see that didn't happen. That didn't go over well at all. I mean,
I don't know if the pace of qualifying was just so much quicker than most of the teams were expecting.
That's the story of every race this season so far.
I mean, I don't know if people are just holding back during practices, but everyone seems to be going a lot quicker in qualifying and catching teams off guard.
Oh, they were holding back because Hamilton posted a qualifying time of 1:10.1 to Leclerc's FP3 time of 1:11.2, so a whole second faster. A little bit of sandbagging there, I guess, but that's still in my opinion, that's no excuse for Ferrari to drop the ball like that.
Oh yes, yeah.
I mean, because this has been the story of every single race this season that no one is safe at any moment in time. Well, I guess Mercedes have been safe. They're like the only ones that have been safe. Mercedes and Max Verstappen. That's it. Pierre Gasly's not safe ever because he just hasn't been able to turn the car on. And the Monaco Grand Prix is not a good representation of like his skill. I think because the Red Bull on whether or not his skill is great, but on whether or not he's got a handle of the Red Bull or not, because the Red Bull is always going to be the best car on the track at Monaco because they just have like one of the best aero packages. Mm-hmm. So he did well in this race, but still got to wait to see how he does at other races where he can get into fights and overtakes and things like that. But really, it's just been Mercedes and Verstappen that's been safe at every race. So what's this, the 6th race of the season?
Yeah, I believe so.
And Ferrari still hasn't gotten, figured out that, look, it ain't safe for the black or the white for the car, like, come on. They're not safe. So for them to leave, and they left both drivers out. That was the thing. Vettel almost got caught up by it too. So I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah. Yeah, they were rushing to get him out there. He barely had time to recharge his batteries and get ready to go for his hot lap.
And to, what is the saying I'm looking for? The poeticness of it all is that the person who knocked Leclerc out of Q1 was his own teammate. Yeah. It was Ferrari's own doing knocked their own car out of Q1. I mean, they had to.
Yeah, because, either way, they were going to lose their driver.
Yeah, they had to get at least one of them in there, but
they had plenty of time to get him back out there.
They just chose not to. They said he was fine, he's safe.
He was up in like 6th, I think, like halfway through qualifying, and they left him in the pits for like the last 7 minutes.
Just absolutely. I mean, what was his time? And his time was,
I think he had a 12,
a 1:12.1.
Yeah, and then
and the next time up for 15th place was a 1:11.9. So he was 1:11.9. 3 tenths off. Yeah, or 2 tenths off.
The commentators were saying that. Engineers and everyone were guessing that it would be like 1:12.2 would be the cutoff, so they thought they were safe. But I mean, anything can happen at Monaco. I mean, it's not a power track. Like you need downforce and everything, but that's not really what's going to make your car. So
I'm just tripping that they haven't figured out by now that they really.
Dude,
I feel like this is.
They should be pushing it to the limit every single race. It's like it's kind of showing their, I don't know, lack of drive, I guess, to
lack
compete.
Of strategy, which they've had for the last like 3-4 years in a row now. I mean,
at this point, it should be like code red. We need to do everything we can to win.
It should be obvious. Like I think, it hasn't happened to the top teams yet, but you can see it. You see the bottom team. You see that midfield dropping people off that expected to be in, and so for them to leave them out there and hang them out to dry was that was wrong. It was messed up. It was the wrong call. I don't know how. I mean, I know how it happens because Ferrari has just been making bad strategy calls all season long, but it just sucks.
I don't know if they were just thinking like they can rest because they've been at the top for so long, but it's like that's not the case anymore. You still need to.
When were they at the top? How long has it been since Ferrari has been at the top?
Look at Ferrari's history. They're a winning team. They're always in the top.
They need to stop living in the past.
The top two. So.
Because the future or the current is Mercedes is waxing that.
Yeah. This is going to be the Mercedes era. It's
Mercedes no more is waxing that backside for them. Yep.
No more turbo hybrid era, but instead Mercedes era.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, it was his home race.
Yeah,
so
that's probably why during the race he was pushing so hard.
He was pissed.
Yeah,
he was upset. He was visibly upset after he got knocked out. You could see him. You saw him go up to his engineer, the strategy guy at the booth, and was just like, "What are you doing?" Like you could see him mouth the words of something like "What's going on? What are you thinking? Like, how did this happen at my home race?" And you know, obviously, most of the drivers, all their homes are in Monaco because of that whole tax situation. But he was actually born and raised in Monaco, so it's his actual home race, and he DNF'd. Oop, that just gave away the. You should have watched the race. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know why we're acting like there's some spoilers. We're almost a week out.
Yeah, that's true. Everybody knows.
If you're listening to this podcast, you've probably watched the race.
True that. I feel bad for him because he's gotten shafted.
Yeah.
For 6 races now, he's gotten shafted.
And it's such a storyline, like him growing up there, and then everyone wanting him to do well. Like there's such a spotlight on him. But
it's not working. Hopefully he continues to just roll with the punches. You know, mistakes are going to happen in your first year. He's got a long career. Vettel's about to be out. Vettel is like not.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, Vettel's not it, man. That dude is not the one.
He's definitely had a falling off, like from last year.
Yep.
I mean, and all those self-inflicted wounds last year.
Vettel
the last
is
half
out
of the season.
Vettel is not the one. That's not the guy. I think Vettel has at most. I mean, if he stays consistent with his current trajectory, he's got at most 2 or 3. I don't even know how long his contract is, but if his contract is over 2 years, then when that contract ends, he's done.
Yeah.
But if he's got just this year, he might be able to renegotiate, maybe. But Vettel's just not. He's not doing it. He's not bringing the fight. He doesn't have the drive. All the power seems to lie in Leclerc's hands. It seems.
Yeah, that he definitely seems like the future.
Yeah.
I mean, just in these 6 races, the majority of them, he's kind of overtaken Vettel in that role.
See,
all the attention's on him.
Yeah, he has all the attention, but it's like, and I don't know if Ferrari thinks they're fooling anybody because obviously Vettel's still their number 1 driver, and Vettel's kind of finished ahead. I want to say Vettel might be ahead of Leclerc in the driver standings. So let me check. Yeah, he is. So Vettel is 3rd with 82 points, and Leclerc is 5th with 57 points. But that doesn't fool anybody. Everyone knows that Leclerc is better than Vettel. At this point, I think it's clear that Leclerc should be their number 1 driver. But because Vettel has that history and they can't just shaft him. I understand that. But they're not fooling anybody by making it, if they think we're thinking like, oh yeah, Vettel's it. No, Vettel's not it. It's not it. They need to just move on.
Yeah. I think he's probably got a couple more years. We'll see how with all the new rule changes coming in 2020.
Yeah, Mercedes will still dominate it.
Yeah. If he has another bad year.
Yeah, we'll see.
He might be out.
Like you said, we'll see. So for qualifying, I think that was pretty much the only big news from qualifying was that Leclerc, that was like the focus was like, can't believe Leclerc did not make it out of Q1 and Ferrari made such a bad strategy call.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been a while since a team's made that big of a mistake in qualifying.
In qualifying? Probably. Although Ferrari just makes bad decisions all the time.
Well,
lately,
yeah.
So, all right, let's move on from Ferrari. We've bashed them for a couple minutes here. So out in Q1 was Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Lance Stroll, George Russell, and Robert Kubica. Again, Kubica. No, I don't need to say anything about that. That's the finishing order. Racing Point not there this weekend. They seemed stronger in other races, but I guess their aero's not so great, so they were just only managed to keep ahead of the Williams team.
Yeah, Racing Point does terrible at Monaco.
Okay.
Well, at least Stroll does.
Stroll does terrible.
Oh, man.
Terrible everywhere.
I was talking to my dad about the race, and he was letting Stroll have it.
Oh, I mean,
he is not a fan.
it's hard to. I don't think I've come across a fan of Stroll.
No, I don't think so either. Maybe in Canada.
That's true.
He's Canadian, right?
He is Canadian. Yeah, I wonder how they feel about Lance Stroll because he's still a paid driver. So
yeah,
and he's not done much of anything in the past in his time at F1. He was great in whatever series he came from. I've heard that he's dominated, but it just hasn't translated over to Formula One as much. So we'll see. So that was Q1. Q2. So out in Q2, we had Nico Hülkenberg, Lando Norris, Romain Grosjean, Kimi Räikkönen, and Giovinazzi out in Q2. Grosjean, I feel like, had a chance to make it out. Let's see. He was third to be out, and it was 112.027. And he needed a 111.4. Maybe he was a little bit of ways away. 7/10. I don't know if he can make it up. Well, actually, didn't Magnussen? Yeah, Magnussen.
It was there in the car.
Magnussen posted a 111.3, but he got blocked. Grosjean got blocked by Pierre Gasly. So.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, Grosjean up to his, maybe wrong place, wrong time. But
it was definitely Red Bull's fault, not Gasly's fault. He said that. He said it in the interview afterwards. He said, it says a lot to Grosjean's character. You can tell he's a lot more. He's not a hot-headed person. Mm-hmm. He's a lot more mature than many other drivers on the track.
Yeah, he's the opposite of Kevin Magnussen, who his teammate. Kevin Magnussen,
complete opposite. But yeah, so he said afterwards, he was like. He actually said, like, poor Gasly, he had no idea that I was coming up behind him. It's really like it's his team's like that's their job to tell him, hey, you've got a car coming up behind you on a fast lap and you're on a slow lap, so move off the racing line. But he didn't know, so he didn't put any blame on Gasly. But it still sucks because
it definitely probably cost him moving up into or making Q3.
Yeah, and grid order is everything at Monaco. So
yeah, I mean, that's pretty much half the race.
Exactly. So we did get into the top 10. We did get two Toro Rossos, Kvyat and Albon. So that was pretty good. And Carlos Sainz, McLaren in there. Ricciardo making it up in qualifying 7th place. Magnussen qualifying 6th. Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, Max Verstappen, Bottas, and then taking pole position, my boy, the Hammer Time.
Your boy this week. Not last week.
You're right. Well, I just want to stop with it sometimes. But, he took pole position this time. Someone else got held up in qualifying. I can't think of it. I think Giovinazzi blocked someone as well, but I can't remember.
Yeah. So. The only thing shocking from Q3, Toro Rossos are looking good. I mean, they got probably a similar aero package to Red Bull.
Yeah.
But,
that's true.
And Ricciardo, I mean, if we can play a game of what if.
Finally making it. I think is that his highest qualifying position? It might be. 7th place? That's almost best of the rest. I don't think he's.
Yeah, this year. Yeah.
I don't think he's qualified higher than that. So.
Yeah, but I mean, what if he was in that? I mean, because this is his track.
Yeah.
What if he was in that Red Bull?
Red Bull?
I think it would be interesting to see what would happen this year.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because the Red Bull's still not that. It's definitely not as powerful as it was last year. So I don't know if he would be doing better.
He would definitely be in the 110s.
Yeah, for sure. He'd be up there with Verstappen, guaranteed. But we did see last year, even him and Verstappen they kind of swapped places a lot as far as who was better. Verstappen's definitely was getting more out of the car, but sometimes Ricciardo was able to get ahead of him.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's qualifying.
Yep.
Not much, but it kind of decided the race for the most part. I mean, if there's anything to pay attention to in the weekend, it's that.
For Monaco, if anything, qualifying is the most important.
Exactly.
Part of the race weekend.
Yeah. So, jumping into the race, how did you feel about the race exactly? What are your opinions on that?
So, the race was exciting I don't know, I never look forward to street circuits or Monaco. Every year it's like, Monaco.
Monaco, yeah.
It's fun like to watch for like 10 minutes, and then you're like, okay, this is a boring race, a tiny track.
Yeah.
You can only look at the boats so many times. The nice casino on the hill, and then nothing ever really happens. But this year, I don't know, I felt a little different. It was a little more exciting.
It was
than it has been in the past. I don't know if that's just because now we're talking about it every week, and there was a little bit of a build up coming out of last week. But
I think there was definitely a different atmosphere just around the whole weekend. I think with the passing of Niki Lauda and Leclerc being this, everybody wondering what he's going to do and how that's going to go, and then with the tributes to Niki Lauda, there was definitely a different atmosphere to Monaco this season. So it was really cool too, the tributes that they had on the cars. Like Mercedes had the red halo and
a lot of helmets.
A lot of red helmets, a lot of red hats everywhere. There was Niki Lauda's name on a lot of sides of a lot of cars. So it was definitely a different atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable race though. I found myself kind of captivated in it when I was at home watching from my parents' house and whatnot. Eyes were kind of locked in those final laps. So it
was pretty exciting. I feel like the end or the beginning and the end were the most exciting parts.
Yeah,
I mean with Leclerc because he started 15th,
16th.
16th.
Whoa, car alarms going off.
And then so him trying to battle back.
Yeah.
And then getting a little too aggressive.
Which battling back in Monaco is, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen a couple times people like start in the back and then they get to like maybe like 7th. But after a certain point.
Maybe a pit stop. Maybe from a pit stop, but not from
they're only going up like six or 7 spots, but
they're definitely not going into the podium from the back of it.
No. Well, Magnussen had a great race strategy. He was on the medium tire.
Oh, yeah.
And then he lasted like 40-some laps. And just by lasting that long, he moved up, they were saying like 7 or 5 spots, being able to jump everyone.
Nice. Yeah, he did. He finished 5th place. So
yeah, he had a pretty good race.
Yeah, speaking of the beginning of the race, let's talk about that because it was... a little bit of a hectic start. You had, like you said, you had Leclerc trying to claw his way back to the front. There was a pile up from, I think, Giovinazzi running into the back of George Russell, and he spun out kind of at, I think it was at turn 2.
Yeah.
Or no?
No, it was towards the end.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Turn 10 or 11.
Yeah, and so that caused like a 7-car parking lot.
Yeah.
Which I'm surprised they got those going. I don't know if he just like 10-point turned it back into go straight again.
He definitely went forward, backed up, went forward again.
And all the other cars are just waiting on him.
Yeah.
It was an interesting start to the race. And then you were saying about Leclerc's passes. So what was his first try? What was his first pass? It was on Grosjean, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was on Grosjean.
Yeah.
So he shot up the inside of what turn was that? That was
he was liking passing in like turn 12, I think.
No, it was turn 18.
Towards the end.
Yep, it was turn 18. It was like the penultimate corner.
It's like a 90-degree turn.
Yeah. It was that final. He was kind of shooting up the inside there.
It worked on him. It worked for him once.
Worked on Grosjean, and when it came around the very next lap, I believe, or I think it was 2 laps later, and tried the same move on Nico Hülkenberg.
Yeah, Hülkenberg.
Didn't work out.
Nah, and it looks like he hit the wall and then bounced into Hülkenberg.
He did. I think that from the replays, he never even actually touched the Renault. So he came close, but he never touched it. It was his back wheel that clipped the wall and spun him out.
Yeah, and then he got a puncture and then destroyed his car.
Just angry driving. He was clearly, you could see from his driving style, he was pissed. He was just so upset with the strategy, why he was in the back in the first place. It's his home race. He's got all eyes on him. He's got all the juice right now, so he's trying to prove himself. And he made the mistake of driving too fast on that punctured tire.
Yeah, blown tire. And the tire just shredded. I was watching the replay. It looks like there's like, I don't know, woven like rope, almost like cord. Like, yeah.
On the tire? Yeah, that's how a tire is constructed.
Well, I mean, some tires.
Some woven, it's got the
It looked pretty cool
belts
from
and
like
rings.
from like an engineering standpoint.
It destroyed his floor. I mean, it just ate into it. He was driving way too fast.
Yeah.
Especially after, I mean, maybe you could try to drive fast while it's tire still there, but when it was already shredded up, I'm pretty sure he could hear it smacking his car.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He was still going like 45, 50, 60 miles an hour trying to get back to the pits as fast as possible.
Didn't care.
And it did more damage than it did good. If he would have nursed it back, honestly, he probably wouldn't have made it into the points anyway, but if he would have nursed it back, he could have probably stayed in the race and done a couple of laps. But who knows what his mindset. Maybe he was trying to destroy his car. Maybe he's like, if I just drive fast enough to break something, maybe they won't make me go back in this car and I can just go home.
Yeah, screw it. Let's just destroy it.
Yeah, so I feel bad for the guy. Ferrari, when will they learn?
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yep.
So moving on from that, I think we had some small action from Raikkonen, and actually Lance Stroll was just like in everyone's way.
Yeah, he's just all over the place. Maybe he thinks like, oh, it's Monaco. I just gotta just block everyone who tries to pass me, and no one can pass me. But then he just, I don't know.
It was not terrible driving.
Yeah,
he was slow. Maybe he, I don't know if he thought like, oh man, maybe he thought like, oh, the dollars in his pocket made him own this city, own this track. No, you don't own the track. You need to either get moving or move out the way because, he held up Bottas, who was running in fourth place, which is a big deal. I think, he was on the edge, of receiving a penalty because that was just bad. He was just in the way.
Yeah, terrible driving.
Bad race from him. Who else? We had Giovinazzi didn't have a great race this weekend.
No, neither of the Alfa Romeos.
Yeah, because Raikkonen wasn't anywhere either.
No, they both qualified terrible. And
yeah, well, they qualified.
Not a great race. I think like 14th, 15th? Or is it 16th, 17th?
It should have been a little higher than that.
Yeah. Not good. Well, Giovinazzi finished in 19th.
Yeah.
And then Raikkonen didn't do too bad. Came in 17th. That's actually pretty bad.
Yeah, that's at the low end. But you know who had a great race?
Who's that? Is it my boy?
Williams. Williams had a great... They actually solidly did not finish last place, right?
And dead last, yeah.
Because before, I think they haven't gotten last before, but that was because of penalties. But this time, on their own merit, like George Russell finished up in 15th place.
Which
on merit.
Kind of makes sense. This track isn't... Having a terrible car won't affect you that much.
Having a slow car, you mean. Yeah. Underpowered slow car.
Exactly. But, a good driver will still...
excel.
Compete there. I mean, he did better than Raikkonen, the Iceman.
Yep.
Did better than Stroll.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
Well, I mean...
It's not saying much.
Yeah.
He did better than a Force India, we'll say. dang it. He did better than a Racing Point car.
Well, a much better car.
Yeah.
So...
And then, Kubica, well, he didn't finish last, I think only because of Giovinazzi's penalties. Or did he actually no? Because Giovinazzi was a whole 2 laps down, so
yeah,
he might have also on merit not finished last place, which is awesome for Kubica and for Williams in general.
I don't think Kubica is going to be back next year.
He's definitely not going to be back next year.
No.
But will he make it through the season? Actually, there was a poll on F1fanvoice.com.
Uh-huh.
Who do you think will be the first driver that's replaced this season? Because you got to remember, last year was the first year in a long time that every driver who started in the beginning of the season stayed and finished the end of the season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that doesn't happen. Usually, there's all kinds of driver swaps happening. So this year, if they go back to kind of driver swaps, who do you think would be the first driver to get swapped out? I mean, the obvious candidates are like Kubica, Giovinazzi.
I think those are really the only two.
Well, Grosjean might be in that category as well.
Oh, you think so?
Maybe. I mean, he's given Haas a lot of problems.
Yeah. From everything I've read reporting on Haas is that Magnussen and Grosjean are their guys.
They're happy with him.
Yeah. I think they do have pretty good contracts too.
Yeah. And then Kvyat is another candidate. I mean, he's not been doing bad, but I think they're not going to put their eggs back in that basket. I mean, he's doing solid this year, but he's not doing like so amazing that they're like, oh, maybe we should put all of our eggs back in the basket of Kvyat. So he's on the list.
He's doing well.
And then Gasly. Gasly is on the list to get replaced as well. So
yeah, I definitely see that happening.
They could put Kvyat up there and see if they wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, this was one of his better races. I think the highest finish he's had all year.
Yeah, he finished in 7th place. That's awesome. Solid. And right behind him was Alexander Albon in 8th. And so both the Toro Rossos had they almost were best of the rest. If it wasn't for Carlos Sainz in the mix there, they were almost best of the rest. So
yeah, the Spaniard.
But yeah, who do you think would be the first person to be swapped?
I mean, probably Giovinazzi or
Kubica.
Right, that's solid.
Yeah,
even money on
or Lance Stroll is another one to you.
Well, yeah, but he's not. He's going to be racing as long as his daddy's writing the checks.
So you got to remember that his dad isn't the only person that owns the team, though. And if I was in a partnership, if you and I were in a partnership, and my child was like,
yeah, but if you say
losing us money,
if someone's like, hey, we got to get rid of your son, you're like, all right, get rid of him. But then there goes my money. But then you start to think twice.
But I don't think he's the major owner. I think it's all split.
I mean, he still contributes.
Yeah.
I mean, even if he splits like a fourth or a quarter or like a fifth of it, it's like that's a lot of money to walk out.
This, to my understanding, that it's him and his, a conglomerate of people, him and his boys, I guess, his rich boys that own the team together. So like, if you're rich and I'm rich,
that's true.
And my son is like literally losing us money by how terrible he is, and then at some point you're going to come to me and be like, hey, bro. He's not gonna cut it.
He's got to go.
Something's got to change.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I think that it'll be Kubica. I think. Well, actually, no. I think the first person. Yeah, I think Kubica might be the first person to go, even though it'll be kind of sad, and we all want to see him do great.
Yeah.
He's just not. He's finishing last place almost every race. I mean.
Yeah, even if. Yeah. I agree. I mean, the car is terrible, but he is definitely off the pace of Russell, who's a rookie.
Right.
So
exactly. So, all right.
I can definitely see that.
Moving on, middle of the race, not much going on.
No.
Beginning of the race, actually, first pit stop, we had that action between
Verstappen and Bottas?
Yeah, Verstappen and Bottas was really Red Bull and Bottas because Red Bull were the ones who released them.
Yeah.
It's a team.
I mean, I kind of don't blame Red Bull. I mean, because you're not going to be like, oh, no, don't go. Like
that's the rule. That's the rule. You have to wait.
I mean, think about it. You're trying to get track position. If you're that guy who's releasing them, you're going to be like, go, 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 go. Not hold on the brakes. You're like,
and that's why the penalty
you're out
is
of there.
No,
exactly.
They do that because they do that in every race. They always have to wait. If there's traffic, they can't release into traffic because if you release into traffic and someone comes and, and your driver hits that driver and then bounces off back into the pit area, that's mechanics and things that are ran over.
Yeah.
So
I know. I'm not saying he did it like.
Yeah, but you cannot blame him.
He was being neglectful and releasing him. He was.
I blame them.
Oh, I think we have a window here. Let's go.
They lost Verstappen that race because I think that if Verstappen could have, if he was still behind.
If he was behind Bottas.
Yeah, but.
There's no way.
I feel like he would have been able to make the move stick. No, so here's the thing. Remember, Bottas and Hamilton both got put on medium tires. The only reason Bottas came in for hards is because of his contact with Verstappen. They gave him a puncture. So
okay.
If Bottas was on mediums, so where did Verstappen finish?
So, I mean,
Verstappen finished.
He would still have to pass two drivers, who very good drivers, on the tiniest track.
No, but look, Bottas was on mediums, so Verstappen finished fourth place.
Yeah, so I mean, if both their tires were terrible.
Yeah, if Bottas and Hamilton both had terrible tires. Now, Hamilton's a better driver than Bottas. We're not going to, say that he's not, right? If Bottas was on those weaker tires and Verstappen came out behind him, and Bottas never had to pit or whatever, he's on those mediums, and so near the end of the race, Verstappen could have definitely made a move on Bottas, I think. And then on top of that, he could have made a move on Vettel super easy because Vettel was struggling with his engine overheating, so he couldn't get close to Hamilton. So every time he came close, he had to back off because his engine was overheating. And then we know Verstappen, once somebody touches Verstappen spins out. So I think Verstappen would have had a better chance finishing second place had they released him like they should have, basically.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but that track is so hard to overtake on. And then to overtake Bottas and Vettel would have been nearly impossible. Like
Bottas on terrible tires, just like Hamilton was, but Hamilton's a better driver.
Yeah, but I mean, we saw this with Ricciardo last year.
He's also a better driver than Bottas.
Yeah, I mean Bottas is really good.
He is. I'm sorry.
I feel like they're all up there. I mean Hamilton obviously is at the top of that pile, but they're all very good.
Yeah, you're right.
But I don't know. I think that track is nearly impossible. If you can get that edge in the pit, that's where your race is won and lost.
Yeah.
And then I mean passing one driver, I could see maybe one. You might get lucky, but definitely not two.
Yeah, true.
And then if he did get past Hamilton, Hamilton's tires were so terrible by the 8 laps to go. They were terrible. Yeah. He would have got past that 5 seconds. Gone. Oh yeah. And then it would have paid off. He'd still be up. He would be on the podium.
It's true. He'd be in first place probably.
So,
tomato. Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, very dangerous.
Yeah,
Red Bull shouldn't have done it.
Yeah,
but if you're a Red Bull, that's like your only. It was like your only little shot.
And speaking of mechanics and pit crew almost getting hit, did you see the safety car incident?
No.
Where who was it? Was it was Sergio Perez? So it was during the safety car. I don't even know what the safety car was for. I can't remember. Maybe it was for the pileup caused by Giovinazzi. During that safety car period, Sergio Perez is coming out of the pit lane, and when you're behind the pack, you can go full speed to catch up. Oh, it was after Leclerc. It was after Leclerc left his car and tire all over the track.
Yeah.
So if you're not on the back of the safety car pack, you can go full speed to catch up to the pack, right? Mm-hmm. So Sergio Perez comes out of the pit lane. There are marshals on the track trying to clean up debris way too soon or whatever. Like they're just not there was some kind of miscommunication. The pit lane exit is kind of a little bit of a blind exit. So you can't see if somebody, so there's two, he went between two marshals going probably not too fast, but going fast enough.
Yeah.
And if you see the video, the one marshal, he came super close, to one of the marshals to where the marshal, the wind from the car knocked the marshal over.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so you see him pass, and then the marshal kind of stumbles and then just falls. But he gets back up and kind of runs off the track. So that was insane. I'm surprised they didn't get more coverage. I'm sure the F1 governing body probably didn't want to show it because it kind of looks bad on their part.
Oh, absolutely.
But that happened. We saw it.
Dang.
We saw it. It's on YouTube by a personal. It's not on F1.com. It's a personal video. Somebody recording in the stands. There's holy ish.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, so
that's crazy. They definitely didn't show any of that.
They didn't. They wouldn't. They won't. Yeah. But we had that Verstappen contact with Bottas, which sent Bottas down to fourth place for a moment because he was running in second, I think, and because he pitted, he ended up behind Vettel as well. Mm-hmm. And then I guess really just jumping back to the front for the end of the race, it was just Hamilton nursing those tires, complaining the whole time, nursing the tires, all the way back to the W.
Yeah, and then Verstappen, he had to fend off Verstappen, trying to make a couple moves. A couple of them,
they were never. The first couple were never going to work around the outside, around the like the little hairpin turn or whatever, the big U-turn that's super slow. Because even if he would have made it, like, he can't go around the outside. And even if he would have been able to cut back and been on the outside for the next turn, it's two right-hand turns, so he wasn't gonna outpower Mercedes. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, the only way to pass there is on the outside, and still hold your position,
and then power out.
Yeah, and then you're not going to keep that position into the next turn.
Right. Yeah, and you're definitely not about to outrun the Mercedes on the stretch down to the swimming pool section because it's Mercedes is way more powerful. So,
and that seemed to be the only that and what you were saying in turn 18. Those were the only really.
Turn 18
section and turn 18. No, that's
even a spot.
You're cutting someone off to get around them.
That's just where Leclerc found a place to try it, and it didn't work the second time. So 50 shot there. But yeah, Verstappen, I mean, he had to try it, right? I mean, he got nothing to lose, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he had a lot to lose, but not that much.
Yeah, as long as I think he played it right. Don't crash.
Right.
Don't destroy your car, and then if you can get past them, you have a shot at first.
I do appreciate and like that he didn't crash because this is it definitely showed his maturity in this drive. He wasn't too overly aggressive. So
he's having a great year compared to last year.
Kudos to Verstappen. He's been doing,
at this point,
he's been doing great. So,
it was a pretty good race overall.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
Yeah, so finishing results, Hamilton took the win. Vettel took second place, highest finishing position for Ferrari this season, which is insane. I think their highest before that was fourth place. So,
dang.
Yeah, I'm about to give you a stat that's about to be crazy after this. But Hamilton, Vettel, Bottas, Verstappen, Gasly, fifth place. Carlos Sainz, best of the rest. Kvyat, Albon, Ricardo, Grosjean, Norris, Perez, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Russell, Stroll, Raikkonen, Kubica, Giovinazzi, and then Leclerc DNF'd. So, you ready for that stat?
Yeah, hit me.
All right. So, driver standings. So, Lewis Hamilton has 137 points as a driver, as a single driver. All right. Constructor standings. Now, Hamilton had 137 points. Ferrari, as a team, between Vettel and Leclerc, have 139 points.
Oh, dang.
Hamilton is just 2 points behind Ferrari's entire point hold right now. They are not, Ferrari is out of the running. Like Mercedes, they might secure the constructors the earliest in history right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a boring last eight races.
We'll still have Bottas and Hamilton to contend with.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I mean, if he didn't DNF today, or Leclerc, this race, he'd be.
If he didn't DNF,
those numbers would be a lot better, but
not that much better. I mean, Hamilton would be 18 points off?
Yeah. Yeah, this is true.
He's still that's one driver has your whole team's points. It's
not looking good.
Not a good look for you, but that's not. So Mercedes have 257 points to Ferrari's 139. So they're out of it. They're over 100 points down.
Yeah, Ferrari needs a miracle for the rest of the year.
Yes. Even if Mercedes DNF'd both cars on one race, which is bound to happen. Usually they DNF both cars at some point.
Was that max 48 points? Or no?
50.
No, because you get 25 and then second place.
Oh, true.
If
they do it,
is 20 points?
If they do it on two different races.
Or 18 points.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really.
If they do it on two different races.
Yeah.
Say, it's still it's 50 points. They still wouldn't be. Mm-hmm. They still would have a comfortable lead. They can afford to DNF 3 times.
Yeah.
And still take the win. So it's.
Ferrari's only hope is 1-2 finishes.
That's not going to happen.
For a couple DNFs from Mercedes as well.
It's not looking good for them. So, Yeah, what are you going to do? But Red Bull is 110 points, so only 29 points behind Ferrari.
Not bad.
And then Renault is best of the rest right now with 30 points. So
I'm actually shocked by that.
Can you guess how many points Williams has?
0. How many points does who's right behind Renault?
So we got Racing Point, 17 points. Haas, 16 points. Toro Rosso, 16 points. Renault, 14 points. And Alfa Romeo, 13 points. So it's real close. It's fourth place, I guess. Best of the rest is still up for grabs. They're all separated. The rest of the teams, not including Williams, are separated by 3 points.
Oh, wow.
So you got Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull that are up there, and then you got McLaren, Racing Point, Haas, Toro Rosso, and Renault, and Alfa Romeo all separated by 3 points. Or 4 points, 4 points.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, best of the rest has been exciting to watch.
Yeah, up for grabs. All right, anything else from the race weekend?
No, I think that'll do it.
All right.
I think we covered it.
That will be the. Oh no! Wait, we got to go to the burrito bet real quick.
Oh yeah.
Before we not log off here, burrito bet. I almost had it. So close. All right. So for the race win, you had Charles Leclerc. Boy, were you wrong on that one. Complete opposite.
Oh yeah.
Last place.
I mean, if he would have made it in the Q2, who knows?
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
He was looking good all weekend.
He was.
Had something to prove.
I had Lewis Hamilton, so I got a point there.
Yeah.
Best of the rest, you had Carlos Sainz.
I think
so. You're on point with that.
That first point, we're just swapping back and forth weeks, picking Hamilton because we both think, this is not going to. He's going to lose this week.
Yeah.
But Carlos Sainz.
Carlos Sainz. So you got a point for that. I chose Raikkonen, which that was a bad choice. And then first DNF, you had a Renault. I had a Racing Point. Neither one of those teams. First DNF was surprisingly for our first and only DNF from the race weekend, which is actually interesting to say because all the rookies did really solid, except for Giovinazzi. But most of the rookies did solid by, just even finishing the race.
Yeah.
So it's
a little surprising.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's that. So Tide didn't get a burrito, so you're still up by one burrito. On
1 point, yeah.
2-1.
Oh yeah,
or 3-1 maybe. I don't know. I have to look. We'll tally it up at the end here. I think you're ahead though by at least a burrito or two.
You got a spreadsheet open over there?
No, I don't have it open. So yeah, that's that. Any other comments?
No, I think that'll do it. I mean, it was an exciting race. I'm looking forward to Canada.
Yeah,
Canada's always fun. It's really weird. Like this is the European stint.
Yeah,
but they throw Canada in the middle.
Right. Yeah, they're coming back over this way. Well, join us next weekend or join us next Tuesday. We'll release the episode for the Canadian GP preview. As always, you can find us on Instagram at Starting Grid USA. You can email us at startinggridusa@gmail.com. If you enjoyed the episode, if you enjoyed the podcast, please like and subscribe. Well, wait, can you like on, I don't even know if you like, subscribe, hit that little subscription button. If you're listening on YouTube, you can like and subscribe, but, on, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you're listening to, hit that subscribe button, help us out. And reach out to us, like I said, and that's it. Join us again next Tuesday. We'll hear you guys then, or you'll hear us then. Cannot get this exit right.
All right.
Bye.
Ciao.